Hey, good afternoon, everyone at home. And we are here again, um, also with my amazing LSI Youth Ambassadors. As usual, today we have an interesting topic, and I also believe is a topic that will always be useful for now and in the future. If you have children in high school, in university colleges. I think this is an amazing topic that you would want to be part of. And before we get to it, as usual, I would have my amazing ambassadors here to please introduce yourself and tell me how your week has been. And I would start with Nifemi.
Hi everyone, my name is Nifemi. My week has been good. I'm in a bit of a lighter block when it comes to medical school, but we're starting something heavier next week, so I can't speak too soon. But overall, it's been great. We thank God.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm always happy to hear that. I know it can be overwhelming because for me as an adult that, am working and all that, sometimes everything put together can be just too much. And I just feel like, oh my God, I need a break. So I'm always happy when I hear you guys say, we are hanging in there and we are in control. That's good to know. Fikun, hi, how are you? Tell me what's going on. I know you're not home this weekend. So tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Okay, so I'm at a Friends for Student Trustees in Ontario. We have several meetings about like public education because I go to a public school, so I'm mainly in the public education group, and there's another group for Catholic students as well. We talk about we have various advocacy interest groups. I'm in the EDI, which is Diversity and Inclusivity group. There's also one for curriculum, mental health, and student well-being. So it's just been a bunch of like brainstorming ideas, knowing how to go back to our board, bringing all this, vision and ideas to our board, knowing how to pitch, you know, to them.
Thank you. That's amazing. It's lovely to see that we do have representation in places like that. So I'm excited, and I know that you kind of have an idea what's going on within our community, and you're able to also go there and see how you can make a positive change and impact. So that is great. Well done. Good job. We're here rooting for you. So let's go straight into why we're here today. So today we're talking about social media. And I've had people when we put out the poster, someone said, "Oh, Bumi, are you talking about Snapchat today?" And I'm like, "No, we're not here for Snapchat. We're here for something a little bit serious. No, on a lighter mode. That doesn't mean Snapchat is not serious. I'm not on Snapchat, so I don't know what goes on there. But we're here to talk about having to have a professional social media account as a youth in high school, university, college, and you know what? The tips on how to put this together and what it does for you. So I'm going to start with Nifemi, and I think the first thing that I want to know is when we talk about professional social media accounts, so what exactly are we referring to?
Yeah, so I think the main one that people often refer to is LinkedIn. That's an app that's specifically like geared towards working professionals. So it's for you to have a platform that highlights your work experience, what you're currently doing. A lot of recruiters will use LinkedIn to find people that they want to hire onto their jobs. So that's really the main professional social media account where people are consistently active, but it has everything to do with their careers, their passions, and things like that. And then some people do have professional accounts on other platforms. So, for example, in the healthcare world, the research ecosystem really likes to use Twitter, now X, as an example. And so people will have professional accounts there and engage in more professional discourse. But again, those apps are not specifically geared towards that, like LinkedIn is. People can just choose to have a professional sort of presentation on those apps as well.
Nice, thanks. Fikun, do you have anything to add to that?
Yes, and sometimes I think amongst like the youth mainly, we use Instagram as well. Like you create a separate account from your personal account so that there's nothing interfering with like your personal views and your professional views as well.
Okay, so thank you so much for that explanation of what a professional social media account is. Now, I know that I do have a LinkedIn account. And I know that I did not create this account until maybe, I think it was 5, 6 years into my work experience. I think it was later, that we got to find out. Then I was in Nigeria that LinkedIn was a thing, and I'm like, oh, okay, let me try it out. Until I got to Canada and I saw that it was not just a thing; it was a big deal, right? And for me, it was easier to put LinkedIn together because, like I said, the first time I tried it, I already had like 5, 6 years work experience. And I know that LinkedIn is kind of a professional setting, where a social media setting where you put in, things you've done, like jobs and, achievements you've attained in your career and all that. So for someone in, okay, maybe before I go to this question that I was about to ask you, maybe I should take a step back and ask, when exactly do you think it makes sense for you to create this one of these accounts?
Okay.
I can start. So I think I was prodded into making one by my guidance counselor in grade 12. She was like, okay, well, you're going to university now. It makes more sense to have a little bit more of a professional appearance online. So even though you might not have like job experience or anything like that, you can include your high school, your your work experience up to date, and your
Mhm.
volunteer experience. Because when you start to apply for university and other programs, people can Google your name,
Mhm.
and you want to have some sort of like professional representation of you out there that they can see. It can
Mhm.
corroborate things that you've written on your application. So I think the sweet spot is probably like grade 11, 12, first year university, where it makes the most sense. Um, Typically, any younger than that, again, you might not have as much to put on the profile. Um, there's not really like much of a reason to. I don't think the jobs we're going to in that age are looking for you on there. Some people I know who are really like really driven, really passionate will have it younger than. But I think the sweet spot is like entering university where you sort of need that for career development.
That's perfect. Fikon, you wanted to ask something?
I was going to say something like maybe completely different from what you said. I feel like from grade 10, just so you have an idea of what you're getting into at first. You could put your name, your school, like maybe awards that you've gotten, your achievements, like if you're an honor roll student as well, just so like you have an idea of how LinkedIn works. And then when you start like getting in, like, let's say like how like the position I'm in, right? So, like in grade 11, you could put like student trustee or whatever like volunteer group that you're a part of. You could put it as well, because you might not be looking for. It's not you're not looking for a job, right? But you're just putting yourself out there first, so that because some people might offer you a position while you're in grade 11 or while you're in grade 12, right? And that does not include like maybe paying you just so that you could have that experience. And they might want people who have already been in like the field or who understand like what they're getting into at first. So I think grade 10 is okay to create the account, and then when you actually start putting stuff like grade 11, grade 12, or first year of university.
Thank you, Fikon. And I think Fikon kind of touched on my next question, because I was going to now ask, for a high schooler, for a student in college and university that does not have this, a lot of work experience and the likes. What exactly do I include on my professional social media account? We've agreed now that it's good to have one when you're between, grade 10 and 12, depending on, your achievements and all that. But what exactly do I put in the on my social media, professional social media account?
Sorry, can I go? Okay, so it depends on your level and your grade, as I said before. So, like in grade 10, you could just put like volunteer opportunities that you've gotten. Let's say you volunteer at like a local hospital, you could put that there. If you're in like chess clubs, student council, you could put that there from like grade 10 to 12. And then if you've like had a job, like you could put that there like when you're in grade 12 or 11 as well. And then like awards you have received. And this is why you need to put yourself out there, look for these opportunities so that you can have something to put on there, and you're not like looking when you're in grade 12 when you have to be focused on application midterms. You already have something, so you're not like struggling between going to like volunteer opportunities or like putting yourself out there with your studies.
Thank you, Nifemi.
Yeah, and I think just to tag on to Fiku's point, there's other ways to put yourself out there aside from LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn is kind of like a very niche environment. So to Fiku's point, yes, you don't want to just now start looking for opportunities in grade 12, but you could have garnered opportunities previously. Like let's say you volunteer in your community, you have other social media things that you've seen and you volunteer with, and then you can corroborate that and put that on your LinkedIn. I personally don't think LinkedIn is like the best when you're young. I feel it's a very professional, like working professional environment. So when you're in high school, I just don't really think that there's much like it can really give you. It can definitely help you get a lay of the land. It can definitely help you see, okay, let's say I want to go to medical school. Let's see what other people who are in medical school, what have they done? And it can assist in that. It can help you gather that information, but just don't feel this pressure to be like, oh, I have to create LinkedIn and I have to put all my information on my LinkedIn right away. I agree. You can make it early. You can scout. You can see what other people that are in your field are doing, and then you can use that to build your resume. And then just to add on to Fiku's point, LinkedIn is essentially just a public resume. So everything that you have that you would put in your resume, you can put on LinkedIn. So like she mentioned, volunteering, awards, jobs that you've had. If you've done a co-op, like I think in grade 10 to 11, that's when your sweet spot is, or 11, 12, you can, where you do co-op, which is like work experience, but for credits, that's a great thing to put under work experience on your LinkedIn. LinkedIn also has the option to put in skills. So these can be things like Excel, Python, coding, things like that. That's important to put in. So even if you've taken a course related to that, that's really helpful. LinkedIn also has a sphere for projects. So I know specifically for people who are into like computer science, coding, sometimes they work on their own personal projects that demonstrate their aptitude and their knowledge. So that's another area that you can put that in. So if you're a student, let's say grade 12, grade 11, first year university, you haven't had a job yet, but you did work on this project in a class or on your own time that demonstrates your skill, you can put that on your LinkedIn too. So people, if you apply for internships later on, or other people, recruiters who are seeing you, can see that, okay, they have that skill as well. So I think that's a good aspect of LinkedIn that a traditional resume won't give you, because you can put links. So they can actually click the link and go and see your project as well. So those are some good areas of LinkedIn as well. If you don't necessarily just have work experience, where you can still demonstrate your knowledge and like skill up until that point.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nifemi and Fiko. And just as both of you were explaining, it kind of took me back to where we've always gone to, and where what we have always advocated for, and that is community involvement and engagement as a youth. Because if you do not have work experience, but you've volunteered in different organizations, you have been a part of a project, like you said, you've come up with an initiative in your school that kind of it's a now I will quickly take a step back to say that for us, particularly for Nigerians, I would direct this to us. We're a little bit conservative when it comes to talking about what we've done.
Mhm.
We look at it as it's not a big deal. It's a normal thing, right? But I have found out recently that those things that we see as not being a big deal, and it's a normal thing for me to just be a good girl in class and get a certificate that says that Bumi was good, and she got a certificate for appreciation for being good. It's not that way here. So we have to be able to put ourselves out there. If you have a certification that appreciates you for being the best student in school this month, that was kind, that could be exactly what somebody's looking out for in 5, 10 years time, when they look at your LinkedIn resume and they're like, oh, this child got this award 2 years ago. And I think we need someone that is a little bit empathetic and compassionate for this role, so we're going to give this individual a chance. So like you've said, it's important that we are able to put ourselves out there, leave that comfort zone, give back, be involved, because you would only have those opportunities when you are involved. Now, my next question. We have talked about what those professional social media accounts are. We've talked about when range of the appropriate time to have one. We've talked about what we can kind of put on this, you know, account to showcase ourselves. I think we also need to also speak about, I know for LinkedIn particularly, is also an hub where you engage people of like minds, people, you request for people to follow you and all that. How do you, being a youth, you know, how do you begin to look at, okay, these are the people that I want to follow and I want them to follow me back. I
Yeah.
want them as my network on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
Nifemi.
Yeah, so when you get to like university and like into the working world, everything becomes some sort of about networking, about who you know. And it's a sad reality that when it comes to getting jobs and opportunities, a lot of it is based off of like almost like word of mouth, someone who can um vouch for you in their workspaces. A lot of that really happens when it comes to working. So LinkedIn allows you to build a network of individuals, of working professionals. So the way LinkedIn works is it's sort of like if you see somebody, you ask to connect with them and they can connect with you back. If someone is at a certain level, like let's say they're like a really big business, you can follow them almost like you would follow somebody on Instagram, and they may not connect with you back. But you start to get into that if you're getting into like really big businesses like Amazon or people who own or reach a certain level of followers. But in terms of connections, I would say like if you're 15, 16, 17, start connecting with other people in your class who've made LinkedIn's because they have other people in their networks that you could further on connect to. And so LinkedIn has a structure where it's like you're a first level, second level, and third level based on how many first level, second level, third level connection based on how many people like that you're connected to. So if I connect with Anti Boomi, should be a first level connection for me. But then if Fikung is connected to Anti Boomi but not directly connected to me, she might be a second level. And we have a few people in contact, right? So starting to connect with people you know first can help bring more people that know the people you know that you may not directly know, and then you can eventually start connecting with them as well. So I think starting with who you know makes sense first. Then for second level, it can also be connecting with people who could possibly be mentors for you, or you're aspiring to be where they are. So for example, like I give the example of like, let's say you want to go to law school. Let's say in your first year uni, you want to go to law school, and you, LinkedIn has an algorithm where it will start suggesting people that go to the same school as you. If you interact with certain things, it'll suggest people that are in those fields. So connecting with people in your university who may be a few years ahead of you, like let's say they're in law school now, and your goal is law school, it might be beneficial to connect with them. And then you can also just shoot them a message. LinkedIn again gives you this option to just say, "Hi, my name is whatever, whatever. I'm a first year student at this university. I'm interested in law school. I would love to connect with you." And then you can leave it at that, right? So that establishes the connection. And then this person's not like, who's this person, this random person I don't know that's trying to connect with me. Okay, this person goes to my school. This is their goal. That's fine. And then people will decide if they're comfortable connecting with you based off of that. So I think that's a good approach to have people you know, and then people of people you know, and then people that you like can see as mentors who are in positions that you want to be, connecting with them and establishing that initial relationship. And then later on, we can get talking about how to maintain that and mentorship and everything like that. But I think that's a really good start on LinkedIn.
Thank you, Nifemi. Fikun, do you have anything to add?
I don't have much to say. I'm just going to agree with everything that Nifemi has said.
Okay, thank you. And I 100.1% kind of agree with both of you. I think for the fact that you're able to connect with people of like minds professionally, and I think the earlier, the better for you. I remember that I got to meet Nifemi's mom through LinkedIn. So, and this has been kind of we started from the mentor mentee. Oh, you're a lawyer in Canada. I'm a lawyer too, and I'm looking to qualify and I need information. And she reached out back, and it was that relationship. Now we're kind of sisters, right? So, yes, it's a beautiful way to start your professional career, which sometimes can even go beyond that, right? And I think it's also good, especially for young adults that kind of have a pathway they want to go, and you see people that are young, maybe 2 3 years older than you are, or just completed that same program, and just say, hello, this is who I am, this is what I aspire to be, this is what I have done, this is what I am doing right now, and I want you to be my mentor. I know that not everybody would respond,
Mhm.
not everybody will agree, but you could find one or two people that would say yes to you,
Mhm.
and will be kind of a safe space when it comes to, oh, I'm thinking of this program, I'm thinking of this course, what do you think? Right? And that's how you grow the relationship. And sometimes they have opportunities and they even reach out to you. Nifemi.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, like, especially for a lot of us, like immigrants are coming in now, and not everybody knows somebody. Like, we don't have some of us don't have that benefit of, I don't want to say nepotism, of like who you know, because you're coming to a new country. You didn't go to school here. You didn't like your parents didn't go to school here. They may not know people who, let's say, your child wants to pursue medicine. You're like, how on earth can I guide my child to pursue medicine in this country? I didn't school here. I don't know what's going on. LinkedIn can be really beneficial for that. Finding people who can be mentors, who can give you advice. You know how you send your child off to one auntie's daughter because she's schooled here. If you don't have that, LinkedIn can definitely be a good connection for that. I would just say be a bit strategic. You don't want to go for somebody that's like CEO of the company right away. You want to select someone that maybe you have multiple connecting points with. So maybe you guys went to the same university or same high school. Maybe you guys are of the same racial or ethnic background. That could be another connecting point. Maybe you guys are both women. Maybe you guys are both men. Something like that that you can start that relationship off with, especially if you're seeking guidance and mentorship, can be really useful for them to increase the chance that they'll reply.
Thank you so much, Nifemi. And this takes me to my next question. So I know that both of you do have a LinkedIn profile. Am I correct? Yes. So, Nifemi, I would ask you first because I know you're a little bit. You are in university. I know that you've been on LinkedIn for a while. Have you creating a LinkedIn profile in any way helped you achieve, whatever, up to where you are right now? What positive impact has your LinkedIn profile kind of helped you with?
Yeah. I think just taking the advice I said before, it really helps to find like people who have been through the pathway that you're going through, right? So when I was in high school and stuff and like applying for university, I would reach out to people who were at the university in the program that I wanted on LinkedIn. And I messaged them and I said, hi, like, this is my situation. This is who I am. I would love if you're able to have a quick, conversation. And I've gotten great advice from some of the people that I reached out to on LinkedIn. Having a LinkedIn presence, I'm sure when you're applying for scholarships, you're applying for programs, and they Google you, you want your LinkedIn to be the first thing that pops up so they can corroborate and see, okay, yes, she put this on her application. She has this here. It's real. It's not fake. So I think that's also been really helpful for me. I think it's also been helpful when it comes to jobs. When I was in like first university, I was like, okay, well, I'm settled in now. I want to start working a little bit again. And so I was able to go on LinkedIn, and one of the companies that popped up was a tutoring company, and I applied and worked with them. And I worked there for like about the year, and it was great. It was a great experience. So that again also helped me. And I know a lot of people, I think in university, there's a sweet spot of when internships start coming out. And yes, your universities have job boards of like internships that you can apply to, but LinkedIn also has some niche ones that you probably didn't even realize. So having the job thing turned on has been helpful for a lot of my friends too. Them being able to see jobs that are not on their school website, and they've been able to get jobs through LinkedIn as well. And then I've also had and helped out other people on LinkedIn and like grown my mentorship skills through LinkedIn. So I think it's been very useful for me. Um, and I think it's something that, depending on how you use it, can also be useful for everyone else.
Thank you so much. Fikul, do you have anything to add?
So I haven't started using LinkedIn as much because first of all, I'm like very new to LinkedIn. One, two, I have the opportunity to see like to network in person with the people that I know can help me. So I haven't been like too focused on that. But if I just want to say that if you don't have that opportunity to like network or see the people like that can help you in person, I definitely feel like you should use LinkedIn and continually like update your profile, like go make it like a goal to go there every like 2 weeks to see, what's been going on. And it has also helped me connect with people in engineering, because I know I had like a phase where I didn't know which engineering that I wanted to go to, and then my dad connected me with this other person in like I think civil engineering, but I later chose mechanical engineering. But yeah, it's something that everybody, not everybody, but like grade 12 students should have. I definitely recommend it.
Okay. So thank you so much, guys. This has been very informative. And just before we leave, I know that youth of the Gen Zs, as we call them, they are very social media inclined. And I also know that sometimes, or not sometimes, most times these days, organizations would want to go to social media to kind of have an idea who they are employing. So I've heard people say, or I'm not too. I do have an X account, but I'm not like very active on it. I barely go into X maybe once or twice a year. But I see a lot of, comments here and there saying, oh, something happened to someone. Then, when the person put it on X, then the organization saw it and let the person go, or, and things like that. Or you put something on Instagram. And for the group of youth that I work with, I noticed that you guys don't really put a lot on your personal social media handles. I see that most of you don't have pictures, your your posts are barely nothing and all that. And I said I was going to ask why.
Okay.
Why why? Like, is there a reason why you guys, what is it that you know that I don't know?
Yeah,
Can I
Fika, you can go ahead.
I feel like it's like from a sense of being like fear of being judged. Like, and sometimes you won't want to post like your everyday life or your picture on it. But what I would suggest to the youth is that you should definitely get over that fear, because people would need to see you and have an idea of who you are as a person. You may have like a professional account on Instagram where you post maybe like if you go out for volunteering, or maybe an event, you could post like 2 or 3 pictures, and in your bio you could talk about yourself a little bit. And then you can have like a personal account if you don't want to post anything at all, which is your decision. um but it's very important that people will see who you are and have an idea of you, because whether we like it or not, people will judge based on, like, the saying, oh, don't judge a book by its cover. People, most times, at least, first impression matters, and your first impression might not be in person, it might be online. So you should definitely have that account where you post yourself. But I feel like it's a place of being judged by your other peers. Yeah.
Okay.
Or
I
wanting
think,
Okay.
serious, as most people say.
yeah, I can speak to this. I think personally, like for me, I think you keep it separate. I think that if you are going to have personal social media, so personal Instagram, personal Twitter, personal Facebook, whatever, make it private. I don't think that you actually need to put your personal life out there to an extent, because you might have differing opinions from someone who wants to hire you. You might partake in activities like, let's say you go out and you have wine with your friends and you're drinking alcohol, you post it on your story, and your employer follows your personal Instagram and is like, "Oh, I didn't know she drank." I'm being exaggerative here. I think personally it's good to separate. So everything on social media, I think you should have your account private, so that way you can screen who you want to follow you and not. I think your professional account can be the one that you leave public and is out there. Occasionally, you can drop a little thing about some of the hobbies that you like or things that you like to engage in. So, like, yes, Vikram said, people can actually get to know you beneath the professional persona. But I think, like, when it comes to like job searching you and everything like that, you want them to be able to see the curated persona you have, your professional persona, maybe some things you're willing to share, but you can keep their stuff about yourself private. A lot of the things people post on their private accounts that get them in trouble. There's been a big thing now with TikTok where people will like to vlog, oh, a day in my life working at the hospital, a day in my life working at my job. And their job is like, you're actually not allowed to post that. You're not allowed to take pictures here. You're not allowed to do things in the work environment. And people get fired because of that. Or someone makes a post about a political opinion that they have wearing the emblem of, you know, their job, and their job is like, you can't do that, you're fired. So there's a lot of things that we do in our personal life that don't translate to the professional sphere. We need to be very careful about that. So it's better to have some of those accounts private, and then what you want people to see and what you want people to share, you can have more public, and that be your, you know, what you put out there.
And I feel, sorry, just to add on, I feel like we're more aware of digital footprint now.
Yeah.
Because let's say in like 2016, for example, I'm exaggerating, I'm like a Trump supporter and everything. And like now I'm no longer a Trump supporter. I don't believe in his values and everything.
Yeah.
And you just forget about it. And like, let's say you go on Twitter and, let's say like you're bashing Trump or whatever. And then someone pulls up that tweet you said or that post you reposted and like, oh, isn't this you? Like, isn't this what you did before? So yeah. Like that's one of the reasons why.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, and I totally agree. I would say also to add to what you both of you have said, I'm an advocate of decency. So so whatever you are doing or you would do, and your probably your kids in 10 years would see and be like, Mom, was that you, Mom? Like, what happened? Then don't even think of doing it, whether it's on social media or it's not on social media, whether it's private or it's not private. I believe that things should be done in moderacy and with a lot of, thinking of what happens, just like Fikun said, in the next 10 years, if this gets out there, what would be the repercussion? So thank you so much, guys. Go ahead.
I just wanted to add something quickly. So I also think LinkedIn can be different depending on the field that you're in. So for people who are in business, the networking part is really big. They can shape their LinkedIn and what they post on their LinkedIn geared towards that. For people in computer science, it's a bit different. You want to show off your skills and your projects. So I think just as a tip for everybody watching, depending on the field that you want to go into, you can watch a lot of YouTube videos on like how to make a LinkedIn for this goal or how to curate a good LinkedIn that people will actually connect with. So if you want specific advice, definitely head towards YouTube. I know some community organizations will host workshops as well. So keep an eye out for those things as well.
Yes, I have a LinkedIn workshop in like 15 minutes, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see, we just confirmed, Fikun just confirmed Nifem is TEEP. So please, whether you're in high school, your university, you can have a professional social media account. What it does for you is it puts you out there, creates opportunity for you, help you kind of have people of like mind, people that you can look up to in your professional pursuit. Have them around you, kind of find information that would help you grow. Even though you're still a youth, the earlier you get to it, the better. You find mentorship, you find jobs. Yeah. So please, if you have a child, your parent that would watch this later or you're watching it now, begin to prepare your children for this course. And like we have always said, they're in high school. You might not have work experiences, but those little things they do within their community, they're things that can be showcased. And there's no small achievement. There's no little achievement. I know that for us, from my community, we believe that when your kids are doing well, we try to, I did, I get it. But when you're in Rome, you behave like a Roman. In where we are, you need to showcase those things, because those are the things that would also create opportunities for them. So if your child is getting this awards, take a photograph, take a screenshot, and have a folder for it. We talked about the brag sheets a couple of our events back. Get a Word document and put the brag sheet together, always, update it as time goes. And when the time comes for your child to have, a professional LinkedIn page in grade 11, grade 12, then pull out all those awards, pull out the brag sheets. Or when my daughter was in grade 6, she got the school board's excellent award, and just put it out there, help the child begin to build that confidence in them, right? So yes, thank you so much, everyone that have listened and that would listen to us. And thank you to Nifemi and Fikun for your time. Fikun, you want to say something?
Think sure. I like a word to the youth. Don't be shy. Like I was a shy person before, but like it doesn't help at all. You need to get out there, network with other people. If you go for an event and you notice that there are, people of high positions there, try and like just random conversations with them and try and like work your way through and like introduce how, like your goals in life. Let's see if it aligns with theirs as well. Get their LinkedIn. I feel like that's a faster way to get them to connect back with you on LinkedIn as well, because I think, I'm not sure, but we might be meeting the Minister of Education, and I think today, and I think that's what I'm going to do,
Get him to follow you on LinkedIn.
yeah. So having that connection, yeah, that's what I just want to say. Don't be shy, network everywhere you go.
Okay, networking. Social media, professional social media accounts is another form of networking within the youth, and also for mentors and the people that you aspire to be. So thank you, my amazing LSI Youth Ambassadors. Thank you for your time. Thank you for this very informative and short session. We'll be back sometimes next month for another interesting topic. Have a good rest of your day, everyone, and take care. Bye.
Bye.